Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. We're going to do a game review today in this video, and this is a request by someone that watches me, I suppose. And this is going to be 9Q versus 12Q. Yeah, I don't mind doing reviews of games as long as I have time and there's not too many requests. If there's too many requests, I will probably do like a first come, first serve basis unless there is some other prior arrangement. So 9Q versus 12Q, white is 9, black is 12. In these kind of games, obviously, like white has the advantage because there's 3 ranks ahead, but either person can win this game because there are a lot of huge mistakes that are going to be made in games that either side can actually take advantage of. Pretty basic start. That's fine. That's also fine. Standard. Yeah, that's fine as well. I prefer the two step, but that's perfectly fine. It's not a big deal. Yes, that's also fine. I think it should be one. I actually think it'd be like slightly smaller because this leaves a little bit of room for invasion, but that's not a big deal. Also, I would actually prefer although because this one's lower, because this is lower, I would prefer it a little bit higher, but those are just personal preferences of mine. That's also fine, making the Moyo shape. I do think, like, in terms of value, I do think just securing the corner is slightly better. Invasion, that's perfectly fine. Counter invasion. This invasion is no good. This, like, like, I know, like, you're trying to get to do that, but white has a variety of responses. I would probably just do this myself for a white. Yeah, you can't do that. But, this is okay for white. And this is actually not bad for white at all. I mean, white can do this, and white is fairly secure. Black, sure, he gets this. There's not many points in here, but white is pretty set up on this side. So, and, if you do something like this, you don't want to do that because he gets to block, and then if you come up, he can just Hane. Either Hane bottom or Hane top. Both are bad for black. And if you do this, I can just kick as well, and then maybe even get the corner over here. So, I feel like this kind of approach right now is not the right choice. If you want to approach, I would just go ahead and do this. And actually, the better choice is to actually approach on this side. Or you could just try to threaten this stone as well. So that's not a great move. As you can see on the board, plus 1.6 now, plus 1.9. This is actually what I would respond because it's the easiest response. There's always other ways to do it as well. You could do this. You could let him have the corner as well. That's fine. You're getting a lot of influence here for white. So, like, this would actually be okay for white as well. And this would not actually be like, yes, you get the corner, but it's actually not like a huge victory for black because you're giving up a lot of influence on the other side. So this is, you're never going to, as black, you're never going to come up this way in this situation. You're always going to play this. White can't go this way because if white goes this way, it's really bad for white. You get the stone, you break up his entire Moyo influence, and he doesn't get all that much. And plus, like, later you can always, like, both black and white can actually do, I mean, you would do this right now. If I was white, I would go ahead and do this probably. And either have you do that or take the stone. But this is bad for white. Like, the Moyo that, like, the big shape you built over here is gone. And it's not too much over here. So white's not going to opt for that usually. White is going to, if you do this, white's generally going to opt for the inside route. And it's going to come out, like, probably the way I thought, like, that I explained it. So this is actually this is not bad for black. I don't think it's horrible for white either. I think this is fine for both sides, honestly. But generally, yeah, like, if you really want the right response to something like this, like, either like this, or maybe you can just, like, do this as well. That would actually be, like, the 3-3 would actually be a decent response because if black comes up, white can just force this way. And there's not really a great response for black because if black does this and white Hanes, then, like, this isn't as good for white as it was before. So, yeah, like, this particular invasion I don't like. This response is okay, but actually, like, now that I look at it, I think this response, the 3-3 response is just better. This is the wrong move. You do need to wedge. Letting white have the connection, too much solid space down here, and your 2 stones are weak. That is way too low. If you were going to take 3, you would probably do that. Realistically, though, I don't actually know what I would do. I might opt for this, but then you have an invasion here. So I think like this would actually be a lot better than the bottom 3. The bottom 3, actually, the eye space on the bottom 3 is not great. Like the eye space on this is a little bit better. So definitely no good there. You don't really need to invade this. This isn't a horrible idea, but realistically, this isn't a horrible idea, but realistically, this is just better. I mean, black still has to kind of respond. If he does this, you can just go up here, or you can just come up here, because black's not getting much space here, and white gets a lot over here. So, like, this is just not a good situation for black. Invading, I wouldn't invade. Yeah, and if I invaded, I would still do this. Or at least, or at most do this to see what black does. If black does this, then white can come over top. And that's a great, great situation for white. Forcing black, look, if you can force black to just make 2 eyes down here as white, and you get all the thickness plus the corner territory, that is a big victory for white. Remember, the point of go is just to get more points than the other guy. It's actually not to kill all the opponent's stones. If you play like you just want to kill all the opponent's stones, you're actually going to lose. So that's not good because obviously, there's options for, black to like Hane. I actually don't know if Hane would actually be the best choice because you have this dig, but actually like the best option is for black to wedge right now because now white has 2 cutting points that white actually has to fix. And this is not really that good for white. I mean, you wouldn't come out this way because you don't want him to go over top, but even if you actually end up doing this, it's still Sente because you're alive down here, and then you can just have whatever you want to like invade down here or whatever. So having the 2 cutting points isn't great for white. This cutting point, I will say that this cutting point's more important to fix because you can just go back over top and cover over if black takes the other one. But the thing is, like, if you want to cover over this, like this is Gote for you, so. This is Gote for you because black's already alive. This isn't sealed off, so there's no territory here, and it leaves black. It basically leaves black the option to invade here as well. So this is actually what he does. The wedge is the correct move. That, I think, is the wrong one to actually protect. So. Yeah, I don't really know about that move. There's actually, like, I know you're trying to build the Moyo over here. And I guess, like, if you just respond in kind, but I feel like white, I would just do this first. Because you have to, because black actually has to respond. If you do this, I'm going to come in here, and now you're just kind of dead. I mean, I guess you could do this. I don't know if this is actually alive or not. I don't actually think it is. I don't think this is alive because there's not enough liberties for you to live here, and now black's just dead. So the thing is, like, you're kind of giving white a freebie here. If white extends this, you either have to go here, and he'll respond. If he goes here, and this is still not alive, like, this is still not alive. And this ladder works that way, so you're kind of just dead right now. I suppose you could take this route and go this route and be alive, but you're giving up so much up here, and this particular 1 stone isn't actually worth it, in my opinion. Because you already have like territory up here. You're only getting like 10 points, and you're giving up the entire top influence, so that's not worth it. So for this move, if I was black, I would definitely Atari this way and probably go up this way. Because this ladder doesn't actually work. So now white's just kind of stuck. You're already alive right here, so you're not really afraid, and you've cut off these 3 stones. So like I believe the correct move here, the correct move here for black is to Atari. But white, This is a key move. K3 is a key move right here. He made the key move. That's also okay, because now if you wedge, black can't really do anything. So immediately in this position, if I was white, I would probably wedge. I don't know if black actually lives or not. I think he probably does. I guess I don't really like that. I don't really like that much for black, but I think black might actually be okay here. Actually, hang on, let me do that. Yeah, you would actually have a pretty tough time with this, because like white actually wins this liberties battle. So white actually wins that liberties battle. So this is actually like either just like either connecting or going down here would be pretty much crucial right now for white. So you can't actually ignore this as black, because that's, if you ignore that, that's kind of a dead shape. Just wedging here. Once again, I don't really. I mean, I guess you. Think this is. I think this is alive. Yeah, this might be alive, but you're losing a lot. You're losing quite a bit here. So, I feel like you do have to. I mean, I would probably just do this first, honestly, because the thing is, if he blocks, I would Atari this first. He has to connect this, and then I would kind of cut and see what white actually does. Because if he Ataris these 3 stones now, I would just kill these 3 stones. Remember, like, white owes you a move up here, because if he tries something like this, you can just Atari here and then kill these 2 stones up top, and now his own entire corner, now white's entire corner is dead. So, a lot of mistakes in the bottom, fight here. Counter invade is fine. That's just a block. I mean, I don't like that actually. I probably prefer just to jump. I mean, the best move right now is still, I think, to wedge, but right now I would probably jump. That there's no need to respond to this. If he Ataris, you just counter Atari. I think the much better move is just to jump. Like, you need to stick your head out here. You can't let him cover you. It's not a good move. That Atari. See, what I don't think either side realizes that this is a huge problem in here. I do not think either side realizes this is a huge problem in here right now. Finally, you do that. Like I said, like, the particular key moves are either this move or wedging in here. And here you could even consider doing that, because I'm not really sure if any of this stuff is actually alive. Actually, yeah, this doesn't work because of that, but like, so you could come up here. Actually, you know, like, looking at the shape, the key move is actually this, because this is gote for black, so you have to fix your problem first as white. If black plays L3, then you have a lot of big problems. L3 is still a problem because this shape just doesn't look very good, and this isn't completely connected. So black does that. That's a correct move. That's incorrect. Like, you would just do that. You cut these 2 stones off. You would definitely just cut these 2. There's a lot of territory in here. Remember, white can't actually block because that's an Atari. And then you can Atari here. And if he just like tries to take the corner instead, you break this through, and now you have at least a ko. And now, like, this shape isn't quite as good, but yeah, you would definitely just cut these 2 stones off right now. And the thing is, like, you have Sente anyway, so I'm pretty sure white actually wins this, because white just has more liberties. So yeah, you pretty much just take the corner here just by doing this, and the corner is a lot of points, and it's just big for black. So that's how you would actually play that. That's going up is a mistake. Yeah, because now that he does this, like you're in a lot of trouble. You like black's actually in a lot of trouble here. Extending. Yeah, black just keeps extending. But the problem is because you let white actually have this, you've actually increased the liberties and livelihood of these two by very much a lot, and you're not alive. The best black can do right now is do this and then let white live right now. Because if black decides to if now you decide to fight this, if now you decide to fight this, let's say you do that or something like. I don't think you're going to win this if you decide to fight this now. You only have 4 liberties, and the thing is, even if he just connects, he has 5 liberties. So I do like now white actually wins this fight because you let him extend all these extra stones in here. This is very, very bad for black generally. I don't think you can actually, like, you're still dead in here. Like, the only way is to, like, like, black has to do this and become alive right away. Because as soon as, like, right now, I would say F2 is the key move. As soon as white does F2, like, all this is dead. And that's a huge point swap. That's fine. See, like, you're still missing this. Like, this is worth a lot of points, and like I think if white just does this, this is dead as well. So there's a lot of groups here that are up for killing, and you're playing somewhere else. Like, if I was white, I would do this. What would you do now? You kill my stone, fine, and I'll kill this group as well. Like, this is just solid territory, and it's a lot of territory. And if I just secure, I guess this you can still live here, but that would actually make it kind of difficult. Like, I think this is still dead. So the thing is, like, you know, I get this entire corner. You take a couple of stones to kill this, and white is solidly ahead here because white's all solid territory. Black still has invasions everywhere, and plus white's got the moyo to make territory here, and your black group here is still under attack. So yeah, I mean, like the instinct here, first of all, should be able to. The instinct here for white should just be able to kill. Should be just to kill this group immediately. I mean, this is fine because it makes this group alive. But what's better than making this group alive is just directly killing this group. And for black, it should definitely make this group alive. See, like, that's, I mean, even if you didn't make that group alive, that's generally a bad move because it does, while it does give you some eye space, it basically completely solidifies this corner. I don't know if this is necessary. I guess it's fine. I don't know if that's actually necessary. I would probably just come up this way because it's a very obvious response what white's actually going to do. If you do this, white's going to Tiger's Mouth, and that gives him a good eye space. If you just come up here, he doesn't get the free Tiger's Mouth. This way and come out. Now these 2 stones are under attack right now as well. Pop out. That's fine. Now you're doing good. You're splitting these 2 groups, and that group is kind of big right now for you to kill. But if I was white, I would still attack this group right here. That's okay because this group's actually under threat. That's actually okay because it kills this group. That kind of, like, if you don't move, it kills that group. But now black has a decent chance, a somewhat of a chance of winning because all this is under attack. That I don't know if I would actually play right now. White comes in here. This you absolutely have to Hane. This is actually kind of a weird thing. I think like the thing about I think the thing you're not recognizing is like you're actually allowing him to connect this group, because if he does this, the groups are connected, and it's much harder to attack two groups than separate. And actually here you can still cut the bottom group by doing this, because he has to go this way. You can still cut the bottom group by doing that. At least like get this territory. But the thing is, like here, he has two separate groups. You need to make sure you cut these two groups and attack him at the same time. That is pretty much the only way you're going to win at this point. So he gives you a so black here should be playing, you know, something like this maybe. You absolutely need to somehow cut those two groups. But I actually don't know how you would cut these right now. Maybe this. Maybe something like this. You need to keep the two groups separate. Yeah, it's actually pretty hard to cut them. It's actually pretty hard to cut. It's actually pretty hard to cut the groups once you've given this much. But you need to figure out some way to actually cut them. Or maybe just do this, you know, like, because if he goes here, you can just come out, you can come here. If he blocks, you can just push. Yeah, that's probably the best move. Like, just come here, just do this. There are weaknesses in this connection. It's not connected. The thing is, like, if you let him connect, if you actually let him connect, even if you kind of get the bottom, and the thing is, like, if you're going to play this much, I mean, just go ahead and seal off the bottom. At least you get the territory. So like there's a lot of you guys are playing like a lot of half finished shapes, but not actually finishing the shape, which is really, really strange and not that great. Because right now you don't really have any bottom territory. You have like basically two dead groups over here. And at this point, white's just going to be way ahead. That also is not very good because, I mean, white can do that. White can also just retreat here. Or even, yeah, just like, I would actually play what he played. I would not do that though. I would either just connect or I would Atari first and connect this up here. If you want that, fine, you can have that. I'm going to get this territory down here. That's really bad. That's actually a bad move because it gives white too many cutting points once black extends. You do not actually connect that one. You definitely would go here for this for right now. I think you would definitely do that. This is going to be a complex fight each other. This is definitely going to be a complex fight. You connect, white gets that. That move doesn't have too much value. I mean, I guess you're trying to attack this, but it's like, this is Gote. It's going to be really hard for you to attack white here. I mean, white has a lot of eye space. He can just kind of do this, you know, like, and make eyes here. He's got an eye here as long as he does this. So this is actually really, really hard to attack. This is pretty hard to attack white by doing that. As black, you might be considering this, because the thing is, as much as you're attacking white, if white plays here or here or something, your own shape isn't that strong. White covers the bottom, do that, and yeah, now he's got the bottom territory. But now you're basically forced to attack this. You are essentially forced to attack this. If you don't attack it, you're not going to win this game because you just don't have enough territory. See, like I think that's definitely the wrong move right now. Because A, it's probably dead, and B, you should actually recognize that even if you get this bottom territory, as long as he kills this or as long as he kills this, he's gonna win anyways. So you either have to make this alive once again, but then again, if you make this alive, he just kills this, right? So you have a really bad choice right now. In this situation, you have to attack white's. You absolutely have to attack white right now. You would start by doing something like this. Take away his eye space, maybe. I don't actually know how you would kill this. You would try to do something like that. He doesn't have two eyes right now. Because if you obviously if you kill this group, you win. But I would be desperately trying to kill this group right now because that's the only way black can win at this point. So you need to actually you do need to recognize what's crucial. You need I think a lot of Q players, especially in the lower SDKs, they need to realize they need to think about what do I need to do actually to win the game. The goal is to have more points than my opponent. Okay, that's cool. What do I need to do to get more points than the opponent? I feel like a lot of your plays are not based on that principle. It's you're basing it very microly, oh, I need to secure this territory. But it doesn't matter if you secure that territory if you still don't have enough territory at the end. You need to look at the whole game and be how much, what do I actually need to win? That's the question you can be asking. Because a lot of times when I'm playing teaching games, I'm okay, I can just let him have those three and sacrifice those three because it doesn't matter. I still have more points. That's the way I'm thinking about the game. I just want more points than the other guy. I don't really care if he gets 2 or 3 stones. If he secures a territory, but he's still 20 points behind, I'll let him have the territory. And playing a move like this right now, playing a move like this right now just tells me that you don't really have that principle ingrained in your head. You're oh, I'm going to try to destroy this territory, but that doesn't matter because white can easily kill this group and this group. And plus even if you somehow make a group in there and white ends up killing one of these groups and white just jumps down here, you still don't have enough territory. So, and plus this is essentially dead. There's no way you can actually live in here. I mean, all he really has to do is do something he can just do something like that. You can try to make something of this. I don't think it would actually work. I mean, I don't think there's a way you make this work, actually. I don't see it. I mean, there might be something in here, but if both of you are at the same playing strength, I don't see how this works. Because this isn't really an eye, so that's not, I mean, that's just, that's a very bad invasion down there. White obviously played this wrong, but still, you're still kind of dead. I mean, that's probably the best thing you can do. See, if you do this now, you're alive. If he connects, then you're alive. So white actually messed up here. This, I mean, this doesn't work because you can just do this, which is he does. Yeah. But this does actually have an effect. Because white did this, this is actually more or less alive now. So you can just go ahead and make this alive. He can try to kill this. He has to go here. And he has to play this. But if you actually do this, this is at least a ko. So he kind of helped you with, he kind of did help you with this group out a little bit. So he makes that, black makes that alive. White is jumping down here, and he's trying to break this territory, which is fine. This is still bigger in my opinion. So the thing is, with both of you guys left 2 groups alive. You guys left 2 dead groups alive for a long time. That's the first thing. Realize these groups are actually dead. Realize these groups are actually dead unless whoever plays first gets those 2 groups. That's kind of what you need. That's the first thing you guys need to realize. Oh, that's the wrong way to block. You definitely block this way. The bottom territory is just going to be bigger. In my opinion, at least. I don't know if it makes that big of a difference, but I would block the bottom. I guess this is okay because this group is still weak, so connecting here is fine. But the thing is, it's nearly impossible for you to actually kill white when he makes this move. So what I would do is I would just do this. If he wants those stones, fine, give it to him, and then secure this territory. Yes, that does make that group alive, but I highly doubt you can actually kill that group. If you actually give him the extension, I highly doubt you can kill that group. That's just a weird way to play it. If you're going to do that, you're probably going to cut here. If black does if black does this, you would just do this. If he connects, you would come here, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what I would do. So because you would have to fill this in, and I don't think you can kill him at this point. You might, I mean, I guess you could. You can try. But you would have to be, I think you might be able to kill him here. I don't really see a way he makes eyes here. So yeah, there is still a sequence where you could kill him because he didn't play this part down here, right? But you'd have to like be pretty good at sequencing. But that's generally the way you would actually play if you were white. If you were white. You could also do this, but here I would just connect these two. This is not an eye because it can be disconnected. I'm pretty sure you can actually kill this group now, the way he actually played. You definitely would not do that. You would 100% do this. Remember, like you have to take analysis of the territory. Black simply does not have enough territory to win unless he kills this group, because this group is still dead, remember? So like white has this territory and white can kill this group at any time, whoever plays first. So black doesn't have enough territory. Black actually has to kill this group. So if you want to kill this group, you take away his eye space. White does play that. Now it's really, really hard to kill him. You would also definitely do that because the Atari actually takes away his eye space as well. You would like, this doesn't, I guess you have to, I guess black has to do this right now. You would not connect here. This is not an eye, so you would have to hurry up and kill all his eyes. That's what you would do. You have to kill his eyes at this point. And then once he does this, he actually has two eyes, so you can't kill him anymore. That just kills your group entirely, because now you can't do this anymore. Like your group living actually depends on you having Sente there. But now you just like, by doing this, there was no reason to actually do this. You just killed your group permanently without white having a move. So you gave him like a free 20 points down here. And I'm not really sure why you want this point so bad. Like your group's connected, it's alive. This you don't have to answer. You would just play here. The whole purpose of white doing this is to get this upper territory here. So you just destroy his upper territory. Your group is alive down here. The thing is, like with something like this, is like it's preserving your points or destroying your opponent's points. If you can destroy more of your opponent's points and preserve and not lose that many of your own points, and it's not a threat to you, go ahead and destroy your opponent's points. That's just how the game works for the most part. Yeah, like this is also not really that useful because you can't kill him. So like something like this is going to be a lot, something like this is going to be just a lot bigger because it's the corner. Like this is 1 or 2 points. This is probably like 10. So here, here also you would just I think you would just immediately block because there's really not much white can do that. You need to you guys do need to familiarize yourselves with like what to do in like with certain basic shapes. Like this should have been noticeable that this was pretty much dead. That should have been sort of noticeable that it was in danger. So like which groups are alive, which groups are dead, that's a huge thing. Okay, like this is going to kill you, so you can't just go over there. Like a lot of things like this, you just need to be able to recognize, and that's just something that comes with familiarity. Like he knows it, so like the reason this guy's better than you is because he actually knows more of these things than you do. So experience and being familiar with these shapes is key. Also, like you can't do that because I would just do this. I can just cut you, and you can't get out. Yeah, but the problem is this is no good. This is not good anymore. You know why? Because A, he can just do this and he has two eyes, and B, he's already killed your 4 stones, so he's alive anyways. So actually, like blotting his eye doesn't actually make any sense right now. You only do that if he's dead, but since he's already alive, you wouldn't do that. This is Gote for you because now there's a snapback. You don't want to make Gote moves. You want to make Sente moves. This is also not a Sente move for him because this is 1 point. So you would go somewhere that's more than 1 point. Now you're still dead here, so you can't really do much. And that's where the game ends. So like this person is better than you because even though he's not great at realizing like what shapes are in danger and what shapes are dead, like neither of you recognize this down here for the longest time. He recognizes more of these things than you do. It's not really his. I don't really think his general shape sense is much better. I mean, you did make a lot of like moves like this that are just really bad for the time. But the thing is, like he recognized like a couple more shapes, like a couple more of like which shapes are alive and which shapes are dead. And because he did that, he was able to beat you. Like he gained a huge advantage here. You didn't realize that Ataring this and making this 1 point killed this entire bottom group. Neither of you recognized that this group was in danger. And the thing is, like, you didn't really take neither of you, like, you didn't take an analysis of the game. Like, the only way I can win at some point is actually, like, killing this group. So recognizing, like, which groups are in danger, which groups are not, and knowing some basic shapes would actually help you a lot in this game. Because if you don't recognize them, you're going to make a lot of those mistakes. That's going to cost you a lot of losses. So that's the review with this game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I will be back with a live stream or another video.